Hey guys, and welcome to Pheasairsoft, where today I'm going to be unboxing this Well WE01A PCC ARP9 clone. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do consider liking, commenting and subscribing, because those interactions help the channel get seen by the YouTube algorithms and help the channel grow. If you click the link down below, then that will take you to all of my socials, including my Discord and my merch store. And if you use the join button down below, it will take you to channel memberships, which is an optional extra 99p a month to support the channel a little bit more. Custom content and things like that on there, totally optional, really appreciated. So get through that as quick as possible. We have got the Well, just rolls off the tongue, I suppose, the model, the Well WE01A SMG. So this is sort of a classic army X9 ARP9 clone by Well that is probably significantly cheaper than both of those. So pick one up. This is going to be for Pheas Junior, so let's have a look what's in here. So very plain black box. Unfortunately, Pheas Junior was a little bit overly keen to get in, so damaged the box a little bit, but you know, fairly standard plain box, just a sticker on there just indicating some sort of label or whatever. So open this up. So we've got a manual that's for an AR type, general manual, nothing overly special in there. Foam, there she is. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the greatest fan of ARP9s and X9s, but it's pretty nice actually as far as SMGs go, and I am getting more and more into SMGs. I like the sort of compact feel of them. So we've got in there a 100 round mid cap, which is pretty solid and stable. I'm happy with that. It's interesting that it's a mid cap and not a high cap. A little bag of BBs, never going to use again. A speed loader, which is quite handy considering it's a mid cap. We are going to need that. We've got the WE01A itself. Left that out. I am liking this bit of a stock here. We'll have a look at that. And then there is an unjamming rod down there as well. So get this box out of the way. So there she is. Now, that is pretty damn light and it's pretty well balanced actually. The weight, although majority of it sits in the middle as you want, it's not unweighted one side or the other. I'm quite impressed with that. It is virtually all polymer externals, but it feels significantly more solid than you would expect it to do for all polymer internals. So if we start at the front, then we've got this muzzle brake, which is a 14mm negative thread, and you can see, take that off there. There is our thread. Barrel coming to the end. I'll screw that back on. That is, even that is polymer itself, but would allow a tracer unit if you wanted one. And now I can't get it back on the threads. Tighten that down. So we've then got an M-lock handguard, which even that, there is a little bit of flex. You can possibly see that there, but I'm having to really exert a lot of force on that to get any sort of flex in there at all. So I'm pretty confident that that's going to take a fair amount of abuse before that gives way. We've then got a full length rail across the top that's got our flip up sights on it, which are adjustable as well, which is good. Let's see if I've got enough room. There we go. Let's get those down those sights pretty easily. See if I can get up there a little bit. There we go. And they just flip up and down very easily and lightly, so potentially going to be quite easily caught flipping those up and down. So you've got plenty of room to mount accessories on there as you might need to. Coming to the receiver, then, it's got a little bit of an angular styled receiver. Obviously the mag well is designed for the sort of 9mm mag, and it does click in there quite nicely and sticks in there well. I am liking it. The more and more I'm holding it, the more and more I'm actually liking this. So we've got our bolt release. I don't think it's functioning, but we'll double check that in a minute. The magazine is actually held using that catch there, and there's the mag catch itself. So I'll just put that back in. So it just releases it from the front there. So if this goes, you are going to be a little bit stuck trying to source a replacement for that. That said, just taking that off camera, that is actually metal, that mag catch, so I wouldn't have thought it would be that easy to break. So we've got the upper receiver then, nice angular, pull back the charging handle, again AR style, and it is a little bit funky style, like winged one, twin-sided, which does pull back our bolt cover, but it's not a locking back kind as such, but it will flip open the dust cover. So I've got a blue rotary style hop, and it is down to apply hop. So we'll have a look at that, how much hop is in there in a separate video, or how much hop adjustment it's got in a separate video. The lower there, we've got a standard AR style selector, safe, semi and auto. And we've got a flat trigger, which I think that's quite a nice little touch. A lot of people want these more stylish sort of triggers now, so it's quite nice that that's in there. The pistol grip is actually really, really nice to hold. I'll be honest, considering how cheap this was, this has no right so far to be as nice as it actually is. So we've got nice ergonomics there. There's no sharp corners, and the texturing on the grip is going to make it really nice to hold. And getting the mag in and out is convenient. That mag button does feel quite easy to get hold of and release that mag, so I am impressed with that. Pheas Junior is going to have a field day because it's only got mid caps for it, but he has got plenty. Before we move on to that, in fact no, we'll finish this off first. So coming on to the stock then, we've got this tanker style stock, and it is spring bound, and it locks all the way in or all the way out. There is no other option. Now putting that into my shoulder, I can tell you fully out, that does feel like the same sort of length that you would get out of a typical AR stock sort of dimensions would sit like that. Now this particular setup we've seen on the E&C Strike Patriot, so I'm guessing that pulls off. There it does. And then we've got a little, oh, it's wired to Dean's with an adapter on it, so that's quite nice, but that is your battery space. Now I do wonder if that's like the Patriot where I can extend that at all. We'll explore that later, whether I can do that or not. What there is, notice, is there is a little hole in there, and there's a clip underneath here that will, in fact, let's take the adapter off because I don't need it. Get rid of that, put that in there, and that will keep it locked in place a little bit more firmly than it did on the Strike Patriot. So we will, once we've done the shooting test, explore that battery storage. That stock is pretty slim, so going into your shoulder, that might not be the most comfortable, but if you've got a couple of layers on, you're probably not going to notice it that much. I would have thought that that is going to be even worse, unless you can, actually, do you know what? You can sort of get this sort of part sat kind of on top of your shoulder, and it's not too bad to get that into your shoulder. If I get a chance whilst playing, I'll see if I can get a shot of this like that on shoulder to show you as part of this whole video, to show you this and like this and how it sits on there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and do the usual chrono range test and everything. Hopefully show you the little pictures of it stocked into my arm, shoulder, and then we'll come back and see where we're up to. So lowest of 341, highest of 346, and an average of 343. Mag empty. Wow. classic Army mag, 8.4 volts. Trying the G&G just held in. No, won't feed or click it. Okay, so I am back then from doing all the tests. The first thing I wanted to address was magazines. Now what I've discovered is that I have got a G&G APR9 high cap, and it is a different fitting to this. It also doesn't stay clicked into mag well, obviously it won't because of that, but it also seems to be slightly different dimensions. It just didn't seem to fit, although that looks identical, other than the little notch into there. The G&G mags do not fit and or feed, even holding the mag in to the mag well, it didn't feed in this. However, as an option, what I did find is I got a classic Army X9 type mag. This one is 120 rounds, and I did find that this slightly different bottoms on the bottom. I did find that this has a similar notch and does actually fit absolutely perfectly and feeds absolutely perfectly as well. So classic Army mags are entirely an option and a possibility to go with this little setup. So get that out of the way. Now we have got a selection of 4 extra 100 round mid caps to go with this, that are all identical to the included mag, and they were all tested, one more or less per shooting video, and they've all fed absolutely perfect. Odd little bit where I just think it's more the mag's bedding in than anything, that there was a little bit of a misfeed, but it was great. So range then, over 40 meters, a little bit inconsistent, possibly not the greatest to barrel or not the greatest to hop, may bed in over time. I did film all of this before we went to out and use it, so if there was photos of it shouldered and things, those were there. There. For you to see. In terms of rate of fire then, in chrono even, we did 341 to 346, that's with no hop, that's pretty consistent at 5 FPS range, averaging out at 343. You know, that's pretty good for something, for a Chinese made SMG AEG. So 7.4 then, a fairly respectable 11.5 rounds a second, pretty damn happy with that. In terms of an 8.4 volt then, I'll just grab the batteries actually. So the 7.4 was about 11.5. The 8.4 volt NIM then was about 15 rounds a second, so a bit of a jump. The 9.6 was giving us about 16.5 rounds a second, and then the 11.1 volt, as we would expect, really jumped up quite decently to like sort of 19, over 19 rounds a second. I was really impressed. You know, again, it has no right being this good. I was pretty damn impressed with it. The range as well, pretty impressed with that, and chrono him. So batteries then, let's have a look at batteries. This is a bit of a crap show, that these batteries are just not going to fit, basically. That even put in there like that, delicately, they're just not going in. There's not enough room to get that in and get the cap on and keep the cap retained. So what we're going to be stuck to using is potentially these size. So we've got a new Pro 11.1 1100 and we've got a 7.4 1200. Now hopefully that, even that's touch and go whether that's going to fit with the wiring in or not. Is that any different? This one's a little bit shorter, so I should just yeah, be able to get the wiring in as well and the end cap on, and but it's going to be a tight fit there, not great. We will explore in the other video, the follow-up video of the internals, if this can be expanded, which will be a godsend if we can, to make this longer, like on the Strike Patriot. So let's clear those up and put that back on, and we'll get the gloves and do the gloved operation as well. So thanks to Laurent for suggesting this. I appreciate that on my Discord. Please do make sure you come along and join. It is a very, very good community on there. So, got my gloves on, so I can definitely hold it. Selector, absolutely no issues. Trigger pull, absolutely no issues. Mag in, mag out, absolutely no issues whatsoever. With a speed loader, that is definitely going to be really, really easy, which we'll discuss loading that in a second. I can definitely open that up. Now, in terms of adjusting the hop, I can do it, but I'm not really feeling much feedback to indicate how much hop I have or have not applied to that. So it's not going to be an ultra precise thing. And in terms of the stock, I can definitely operate the stock easily enough, and battery change, definitely get that off, definitely get that out. It's possibly going to be a bit fiddly trying to mess with wires to get a battery in and feed it all in and reposition it all. So that the battery part is the only bit that I just think let this little package down. And actually, a buffer tube and a crane stock is possibly a better way to go with this. So, coming back to the end of it then, a really neat little package. It is performing far better than you would expect it to do for something as cheap as that. It is very, very solid considering it's polymer. It is nice and light. Pheas Junior will have no issues running that all day without any issues. Don't forget, this is not a high cap, so there's no little hatch, there's no winder underneath. You're going to have to put BBs into this loader, and you're going to have to put it in the top, and you're going to have to put them in. This is a 100 round mag, so the BBs feed and compress a spring down and round and back up, and then the spring, as you're firing, will just push them back round and out. So you are going to need a good few of these. You know, I don't know how trigger happy Pheas Junior is going to be without high caps, so we've made sure that we've got a total of 6 mid caps from to go at, and a speed loader as well, so it should be more than covered. So it's just something to think about. In theory, the Classic Army X9 drums should work if you can find them and get hold of them. I don't want to damage this because I'm going to sort of move this on, but in theory I could measure up and cut a notch in there and potentially get it to work, but I did find that it wouldn't connect with the hop. Even moving it about in the mag well, it wouldn't connect to feed in there, so it's just something to think about. But a fantastic little package. I'm excited to see how well it runs. Pheas Junior literally can't wait to see how it runs. So please do remember to like, comment and subscribe. I will leave the usual photos at the end. I will see you next time. Bye.